Hello and welcome back to another Gunpla review. Today we'll be taking a look at the high-grade Universal Sentry Zogok from Gundam Unicorn. Though, aside from the one P-band I recolored, pretty much every time you're going to see this it's in these colors, so I'm not really sure why they call it Unicorn version, but whatever. This is another Zeon Aquatic Suit, and apparently it was supposed to be deployed during the 1-year war, but never saw action. So yeah, much like all the other suits, well, most of the other suits in Unicorn, Zeon's using old stock. But anyway, let's see how this kit stacks up alongside the other Zeon Aquatics by starting off, as always, with the articulation. Okay, getting into the articulation, there's no head. So that said, you can remove this front plate, and the eye is actually on a ball joint, and that gets really good range. Honestly, this thing has a really good range for the eye to move. Of course, it can't look behind it because no head, and also this track is just for show. I'm pretty sure it can actually use it in universe, but for the kit, that's just an aesthetic. Said this actually stays in really well. Don't have to worry about this falling out at all. As for the arms, ball joint can get about 90 degrees, a little bit more if you include the other articulation, and of course it can rotate. This ball joint here is a little bit tight on this one. This ball joint here is a little bit loose, actually. I kind of have a problem with this where the ball joints on both arms are a little bit loose and tend to just come off, so keep that in mind. It's not like the joint is loose, it just seems kind of poorly shaped to hold the ball in there. But I'm sure you can fix that, and it's not really a huge deal. It doesn't just fall off, it's only really when you're posing it. Anyway, a 45-degree bend at the elbow, though given the rest of the bends it's not too bad. Rotation, this is for a thing, and there is actually a ball joint at the wrist, though there's not a lot of movement there, but you do get a bit of a wiggle. Now, moving on to the waist, and there is none. This is a design oversight on Bandai's part, because there is actually a ball joint in there. It should be able to rotate and rock. Unfortunately, these pipes are stuck on and are hard plastic, so there's just absolutely no waist movement. You can just pop them out with a little bit of work, and that frees it up, and then you can use the joint, because like I said, there is actually a ball joint here, but yeah, if you actually have these connected in the back, there's just no movement at all. Really weird decision on their part, but whatever. The hips are just universal joints, 90 degrees out to the side. Rotation, nothing crazy there. There's a swivel at the thigh. These legs are actually not ball jointed. They sort of cheated with this. And so you get a double jointed hinge at the knee, but it only gets just over 90 degrees. And the ankle is, frankly, kind of useless. That's how far it goes to the back. A little bit to the front, not too bad, honestly, and about that much to either side, which kind of means that you end up not getting much movement out of them. There's basically nothing to the back. That said, there's still enough articulation in this, and given the movable mono-eye, you can still get it in pretty decent poses. Alright, getting into the accessories, let's start off with the sticker sheet, and by extension the color correction. You'll notice the only sticker that's been used on this is the mono-eye, which is sort of a semi-metallic red. Kind of a weird color, but it does look nice. Aside from that, you get these light gray strips which go around the wrists, these gray strips in here which fill in this spot in here because that's supposed to be the same color. Kind of feel like they could have made that a separate piece, but whatever. These are for one of the accessories, which we'll get to in a minute. Otherwise, all you need to paint is a bit of yellow trim in all these verniers, so it's not really that bad, honestly. Doesn't seem like it would take very much time, and it seems like it would be pretty easy painting. Now, moving on to the accessories. You get 2 Stormfausts and a little holder for them, and that's what these thin strips are for. They go around this middle section. And this just has a little tab on it, which just plugs in there, and is nice and secure. Otherwise, you have 2 closed fists, as well as 2 holding hands, and yeah, they really are basically the exact same design. They really should have given us open hands instead of closed fists, because you totally just use these as fists. But hey, I'm not going to complain about extra hands. It's nice to have them. Also, these can hold the Stormfausts nice and... Come on. Yeah, they're held in there pretty good. You can hold them nice and... I mean, they're not going to fall if you're just posing it. Yeah, see, it's fine. Get it in right. It stays perfectly fine. Otherwise, you get 2 of these, which are for the extendo punch. Just pull this off, plug one of these on, make sure that it's properly lined up. And I will complain that I feel like they could have easily had this actually separate properly so that you didn't have this nasty seam running down it, but whatever. This just plugs in. And yeah, it's silly, but hey, it is it is accurate, and it looks okay as long as you ignore that massive cut there. Then you have the heat sword, which includes 2 different blades. This is color accurate. This is not. This is supposed to be a translucent red. They just went with the clear, since obviously they were already using a clear plastic. But that does mean that it is required painting if you want this to be color accurate. That said, the unactivated blade looks fine, so it doesn't really matter. And finally, you do have one final accessory, the boomerangs, because this suit weaponized boomerangs. Odd choice for an aquatic suit, but alright. And these are all separate pieces that can be pulled out, and they're fully detailed. And these do actually click in. They're not going anywhere, they're actually really secure. And just one final little thing is, it's actually kind of hard to get this out. But you can actually remove this thruster here, and there is a 3mm peg hole for any action base you want to have this up on. Doesn't mean it loses that detail, but wow, that does not want to come out. There is a hole there. It is theoretically possible, though apparently it really doesn't want to come out, so keep that in mind. And as for a quick size comparison, honestly, it's pretty much the exact same size as the Zogok, which means taller than the Gundam and a lot bulkier, but it's not massive or anything. So, to wrap this review up, the Zogok is alright. It's a well-made kit. The articulation's a little bit lacking, but it's not really that bad, and hey, it's an aquatic suit. The problem I have with it is the price. This kit is more complicated than the Zogok. The thing is, the Zogok is like almost $35 Canadian, and the Zogok is about $12. I just don't really see the price in this, especially with some of the corners they cut when it came to color separation. I feel like it's a little bit overpriced. If you can get it for, like 20% off, it probably would be a little bit better, but for full retail price, I kind of feel like this thing's a little bit much. That said, the kit itself is good. There's no real major problems with it, aside from the stupid hoses on the back, but honestly, that's not that big a deal. It just annoys me. So if you were interested in getting this, I'd say try and get it on sale, but hey, if you like it that much, might as well buy it. There's no real problems with it. But anyway, that's been all for this review. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It helps a lot. Subscribe for future reviews and watch my backlog. Go follow me on Twitter for updates, and consider supporting me on Patreon so I can keep bringing you reviews, just like this one. And as always, until next time, happy building.